I noticed there was a Concorde being loaded up right next door. So I walked over and says, how much more is it gonna cost me to go on this flight to mine? They said, well, maybe about 8,000.
What?
Well, the first time I flew, it was only 3,000. But by this time, it was going up to 8,000.
Because there was just so much cost in fuel.
Fuel.
Wow.
That's
8,000 bucks
8,000
more?
round trip.
Oh,
I
round
paid
trip.
800 for my little slow plane.
Right.
I had to pay 8,000 more to get up to the high speed. I was just joking. I didn't really want to do it the second time. The first time we had to do it to
You had to
get over there so that the English, the German, French, and myself could all make a deal with the French military.
Was
Our
it
deal
worth it?
was-
Did it
yeah,
work out?
Our deal was we got them to support the total cost of conference, and this was up in the French Alps, wintertime, and with everything, of course, big meals with lots of wine and all that other stuff. And the French military paid for it all.
Wow.
It was a ski slope, so in the morning we would meet technically, looking out the window and seeing the guys up there blasting away to get the snow to fall out of the way so they wouldn't have a snow slide.
Avalanche, yeah.
Avalanche during skiing. Then in the afternoon they would ski. In the evening they all go out to a disco nearby.
Yeah.
So all this kind of fun and games was going on all the time. Of course, we still had to do our technical stuff. They wanted us to give advice to NATO. We said, you got to get the Europeans to form a central electronics research laboratory. Funded by all these countries, not so much for any. And in the end, even though we said it, they really wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
So each country has their own little thing, and some cases big thing, but the point is it was all.
What does it just make very inefficient?
No, it was a question of who owns it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to. Well, you don't want to say it's all German or all French or all English or anything else. But if it's in England, France, Germany, they're going to think that. So each one had their own. And they did fairly well, but in the end, the Germans decided to make their own nanofab lab. And I had given the guy that was one of the leaders in forming up the proposal had done postdoc with me. So I gave some advice. I flew over to visit and so on. And they wound up, they got the money. Then the people in Sweden and Chalmers were Felbingers. They wanted to look into it. So I stopped up there and I reviewed what they had. Now I can use this and use that and use this. We weave it all together. You have a nice proposal. So they wrote the proposal, didn't hear anything for 3 years. So they, bang, $60 million. Then we realized, oh, we said it wrong, 90 million. Cornell paid 60 for its, Swedes paid 90 for theirs. That's 9 million people, $10 for every Swedish citizen went into that. The undertaking. That's where Jonathan Felbinger is having fun now, of course.
Oh my God. So they're one of the leaders then, that country?
Well, they wanted to become that, so that's why they did it, yeah.
Wow.
So I was invited over to give one of the dedication speeches there. There were about 5 of them at that one. There was only 1 or 2 at the German one, smaller operation. But took the Swedes a while to figure it out they wanted to do it, but when they did it,
Yeah.
they did it.
Is it all done now?
And the building's all set. In fact, I was ready before Jonathan went over. In fact, I think it's been going a year or more.
Hmm.
He went the 1st of September and it was all in working order.